Hey everybody, welcome back to. I was about to say Mixes of the Soul. I don't know why I was thinking about that. That was actually my old name for my podcast. And I'm actually walking. The weather's kind of iffy outside, and I just figure it's the perfect time to do a podcast, right? Walking in the rain, icky. Perfect time, right? Um, but yeah, on my last episode, Adrift, I got to talk a little bit about my old podcast, just a few episodes. But I purposely didn't speak about the name itself, and the reason behind that name. I think everything has a reasoning. Everything has a name. Everything that we do. So the name I chose when I first started in 2020 was Mixes of the Soul. And the reason why I chose that name was because I felt like my soul was like, mixed up and tied between all these different cultures. And I wanted to experience some cultures. Some cultures I already knew about, but I more so wanted to, have more exposure to those type of cultures. And so I named my podcast Mixes of the Soul. But one thing I realized is that, the motivation and, my idea for my podcast kind of, faded right along with the name because the passion and the drive wasn't there. Like, every time there's a moment to, like, do a podcast episode and it's, like, important to me, I'm like, let's turn on that recorder button and let's just start recording. It has to be real and raw for me to have anything to do with it. So right now, I'm like in a store. I ordered my food and I'm gonna get some snacks. It's Friday, so just get ready to wind down for the weekend. It's been a long work week, so I could appreciate the weekend if anybody else that's listening. I could appreciate definitely the weekend for sure, working Monday through Friday. But yeah, I didn't actually, and I forgot to introduce. Not introduce. Excuse me. I'm walking. This is my first time doing a walking podcast, so excuse me if I'm a little bit thrown off. But like I said, if you're looking for perfect, just keep listening because here on Ill-Equipped, we just don't live by the rules of society. But what I did want to say is that welcome if you're new to Ill-Equipped, and if you've been with me since 2020, thank you very much. We riding out. We're going to the top together. Gotta definitely make sure I get that in there. So yeah, just talking a little bit more about the meaning behind the name for Mixes of the Soul. Just to start off this podcast, but there's also something more important that I wanted to kind of touch on, and it really has to do with going after your dreams, right? Like going like after your aspirations and what that you could achieve, but right, the part of the journey that nobody talks about is the part where you have to actually teach yourself the skills that you need to achieve your dreams and goals. So right now, I'm actually in the process of learning how to create videos using different platforms like YouTube Movie Maker, and I'm constructing how to like put my videos up on YouTube and on a different platform, so that way my voice is heard and not just in one area. But that part is like the part where I think most people get scared. It's like right there where you actually have to teach yourself. Alright, so I had to pause that because there was so much going on in that store. It's not even funny. There was like a lot of talking going on, but good talking. It wasn't nothing positive. I mean, excuse me, it wasn't negative, but it was super, super loud and I couldn't hear myself. So I just decided to pause it, but I'm back now. Did you say, I'm back now? But no, seriously. So, I wanted to get on here today and I wanted to talk about that, like, the part where you're teaching yourself everything, right? And you're like, I can't really do this, and you literally you feel like you can't do it because you don't, have the belief system yet, because you're not used to talking to yourself and saying like, hey, I could do this, I got this, right? And I think most people, like, that's where they give up at. Like a lot of people, like how a lot of people say, I have so many great ideas, but they don't know how to bring those ideas to fruition, right? So how do you make what you want possible, right? And I want to bring everybody along with me on my journey as I go. For literally each and every day, I'm teaching myself something new. So it's important to let you all know exactly, what my experience is like too for myself as I teach myself, all about like having a podcast. And so that could be scary, that could be intimidating, but it's all a part of the journey. I won't want to have it any other way. And I feel like I spoke like this like a few years ago. Like I said, on Adrift, I did talk about, on my last episode, Adrift, I did talk about how good I used to speak on my episodes, but, it was hard for me to kind of learn the skills and the craft itself. So I told you to do real and raw, so I paused, but right now I'm in a pizza shop. So I don't want too much overflow. But yeah, like that's the part of the journey that I want you all to be on with me. And honestly, I think the hardest part for a lot of people that started something and, just decided, well, hey, I'm going to stop. Because you can go back and you can listen to my episode of Approaching 30, and you can listen to my episode Relationship with Self-Love. And we talk in a sense where, some of the things that we are speaking about, we have been through. But there's other instances where we're talking about something that we would like, and it's not achieved yet. And so I think nobody really talks about the part where, okay, yeah, we're now in between approaching 30, and it's like, yeah, we're stagnant and we're stuck. But now the real question is, what are we stuck in? And how do we move on from the thing that's keeping us stuck in the same position, keeping us content? And today I thought I had it. I'm like, is it fear? Is it fear of the unknown? Because if I don't know, and it's like almost what I said about knowing now the meaning to be ignorant is bliss. If I don't know, then it can't hurt me either way, harm or hurt me. But in some ways it can, because we have to understand and we have to know certain things, but we can't go into a situation and think, okay, well, I don't know, I'm just giving up. No, that's easy. That's too easy to just give up on yourself because you don't understand. Now, the hard part is taking your time and really pacing yourself and putting your best work forward. So, again, the meaning of my name, Eloquent, and I'm not going to sidetrack right now, but I'll speak about meaning and purpose again in this podcast. So, I know I keep talking, I'm sorry, it's like super loud in here, but honestly, to not know like how to do something is okay, but what is not okay is giving up on yourself the first time because you don't understand it. Take your time and learn it. Figure it out. Figure out what it is that you want to learn and do it. Don't be so easy to give up on yourself. Because when we decide that this is the thing that we're going to do, it's going to take time, it's going to take dedication, it's not going to happen overnight. A flower doesn't blossom overnight. It takes time and it takes care too. You have to properly water. You can't overwater it. You can't underwater it. You can't give it too much sunlight. You gotta give it just the right amount of sunlight. So you gotta make that your baby. Like that gotta be your baby. And that's how I feel. Like I woke up and I was like, I wanna listen to my process. And I know it sounds biased because I'm the one, speaking. And at times I'm not. But I wanna hear it. I wanna hear even what other people are saying. So, wanting to dedicate myself to what it is that I'm doing is the biggest turnaround and difference between Mixes of the Soul and Eloquent. One huge big difference is that I feel more motivated to make episodes, and what I'm speaking about is truly from the heart. And don't get me wrong, again, please go check out all my first episodes from 2020. If you have time, I'm not telling you what to do, but if you have time, super good. I talked about on my last episode, address, just how, powerful some of the podcast episodes that I was doing were. But at the same time, after a while, I kind of was like, okay, now what? Is that all there is to talk about? Is silence. Is the killing, is the shooting, and it kind of got depressing. I was like, I don't want this to be a daily topic in my life, even though it was something that was happening all around me. So I felt the need to do it. And I felt the need to do it, and I felt the need to do it. I did it, right? I did it. And then I was like, okay, now what do I do? Now what do I talk about? So that's why I wanted to bring from my sidebar, which is on the side street, about purpose. About just knowing the purpose and a reason for, what you're doing the podcast for. Okay, so we're moving now. I actually got my lunch. I'm headed back to work. I wanted a ranch, but she didn't give me one because you gotta have your card charged for over $5, and I was like, not for a 50-cent ranch. So sometimes in life, sidebar, you don't get what you want, and you just gotta be okay with that. That gotta be all right. Okay. So yeah, I definitely want to bring you guys in with me on my journey, on this journey of self-discovery, and just I'm super excited, super excited. But that's where my motivation, for my episodes now comes in, that like the real motivation. Because we need to be motivated about the things that are happening in our community and around the country. Also need to be motivated about what's going on in our own life, how we can motivate other people in a more positive manner, right? Because we can talk about the issues, but if we are not ready to sit down and come up with some type of solutions, and with an S, not just a solution, because there could be one big problem and a million solutions, and they all might fit the criteria. So let's come up with some solutions, to fix what we got going on. But having that purpose again is super important, because when you know what you are talking about, or want to talk about, at least you have a purpose, you have a motivation, almost like, well, let me go ahead and let me make this because such and such, right? So self-discovery and what you want to do as far as like a podcast like me, I would just say, just don't worry about like how many people are watching you right now, like, or and listening to you. If you are, I don't know how many people are listening to this or actually doing any live podcasts or live videos, but if you're starting off, whatever it is you're starting off, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a channel, whether it's a business, whether it's just becoming a new mom, starting a new job, whatever it is, take your time, right? Take your time and get to learn that job and learn yourself in that job and everything about that job. Make that job your baby, right? Make that book your baby. Make that podcast your baby. Whatever it is, make sure, because that's when you're going to really see the results and that you like looking for, honestly. So every day, yeah, give yourself a break, but be thinking about that, dreaming about it, right? And it stopped raining, so that's always a good thing. And we got some steps in. I don't know if I told any of my listeners I'm a walker. Um, I prefer walking over running. It gets me every time. I can do well walking. Walk fast. Walk slow. No walking at all. Whatever you want to do, I'm with it. But seriously though, seriously, I had, again, just something came over me and I was at work. So, to all my listeners, I am going to sign off a little bit early. I am at work. Like I said, you can still do a 9 to 5 and still chase your dreams. It's not impossible. Just make sure you don't get fired from your 9 to 5 before your dreams become accomplished. No, but I appreciate everybody for joining my podcast. If you're new to Ill Equipped, welcome, welcome, welcome. And if you've been with me from the start, 2020, just know we're going up to the top together. We're going to be here pushing each other, motivating each other to do better, to be better to each other and for each other. So I just want to say thank you, everybody, for joining on. And I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day. Bye.